Hi, I'm Katya Cronin. I'm Associate Professor of Fundamentals of Lawyering with the JW Law School. So I think there's two parts to that question. First, why is well-being important? And second, why do we want to develop it in law school? And for the first part, you really only need to pick up any book or article in the newspapers about the legal profession to see a really dismal picture of lawyer unhappiness and lack of well-being. And I will say I practiced for about 15 years before coming to academia, and I didn't see quite that just catastrophic picture in there, but no matter what numbers you believe, it really is the truth that lawyers are just not well as a profession. They're not healthy physically or emotionally or relationally, or really even professionally. They are not satisfied with what they're doing. And that's not what we want, right? We don't want that for our law students. We don't want that for our lawyers and for the profession at large. And then the second part is why at law school. And I think that's the easiest time to do that because it is a safe environment for students to really develop those skills, to learn how to set boundaries for themselves, to learn to prioritize themselves and their well-being, and to do so in a way that still supports and in fact enhances their professional development. It's much harder to do that once you graduate and reality kind of sets in and employer expectations come into play. In several ways, the FL program is really a pioneer in the field. Nowadays, as of last year, the ABA is actually requiring law schools to, in general, find a way to incorporate well-being into the curriculum, but most law schools are just coming to the table and scrambling to figure out how to do it, and we've been doing this for years. I think one of the main ways that we do it is through messaging, both explicitly telling our students how important it is to take care of themselves and their well-being, but also implicitly by the way we design the course and the assignments. One silly example, but an important one, is that we only give Friday deadlines, for example, not Sunday deadlines, because of course, it's anybody's choice to work on the weekend. I do it all the time, but it should be a choice rather than the implicit requirement that weekends are not really your own. They're just a time to catch up. So we only ever have Friday assignments and Friday deadlines. But another way that we do it is by providing our students with important skills, because it's not enough to just say you have to pay attention to your well-being when you go out and practice. It's important to tell them how, to show them how to be excellent at what they do and still be able to deliver those results while taking care of their emotional and physical well-being when they're in practice. We teach them to be self-reflective, to know how what they're experiencing both in law school and as they're developing into lawyers, how it's impacting them, so they can capitalize on the good of it and so they can course correct when they realize that something is negatively impacting their well-being. We also teach them to be self-directed, so it's not just important to recognize that a change needs to happen. They need to know that they have the autonomy, the agency to do something about it. Often law students graduate kind of feeling like they're tossed about on the waves of professional expectations and they have no choice in the matter. And so we teach them that they do by both providing them autonomy in the class and during law school, but also telling them how to have those difficult conversations or how to direct their careers in ways that they will find meaningful and fulfilling. And then we also teach them to advocate not only for their clients, which I think a lot of lawyers do well, but also for themselves, which very few lawyers do well. And so throughout the curriculum, we have exercises and practice woven in for how to interview, for how to have conversations with employers, with clients, for how to take charge of their career so that it is a successful and fulfilling one, but also one that supports their well-being.